Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here. It's a music review day, guys. I'm really looking forward to going over two new albums that I recently picked up that came out in 2015, and I'm always appreciative to actually talk about music because it's just not something that is really expressed enough in the YouTube community. So I'm hoping that I'll be one of the first that will actually try and bridge the way and get people to start doing this more often. I'm going to give a couple of shout-outs to some YouTubers who are true music appreciators at the end, but for now, what I love about music, especially if you guys are newcomers to my show, I like to do two specific things. I like to review new music in pairs, and when I do that, I like to try and find a connection between the two of them. Well, there is a big connection between these two bands today, especially because of the fact that they come from the same record label, which is Nuclear Blast. They are very famous for bringing a lot of bands from Europe over to the United States, and these are two bands that have been very well known in the metal underground in the United States. So, we're going to talk about the first band, which is a band that I absolutely love to talk about, and that is the Finnish melodic epic metal band Nightwish. Now, Nightwish has gone through a couple of changes in the past couple of years, specifically in the area of lead vocalist. When the band was created in 1997, they had an amazing vocalist named Tarja, and she was great because she had very operatic vocals to bring to a very different sound, which is heavy metal, and the two of them mixed beautifully. If you want to sample one of her vocalist pieces in the Nightwish collection, I highly recommend that you look for Over the Hills and Far Away. That is not a Led Zeppelin cover, but it is an excellent song. You must hear it. It's a beautiful blend of Finnish folk music. It's a beautiful blend of classical symphony and metal as well. And Tarja left the band in the early 2000s, and then they had a newcomer named Anna come into the band, and she worked with them on two albums, and their first one was Dark Passion Play. She didn't have the operatic vocals, but she did actually bring something different to the table, and I got a chance to see them when they made their very first few USA tours, and Tarja was in the first tour, and then Anna came in the second tour. It was great to hear songs that Tarja originally was part of when they were first released. To actually hear them sung from Anna was a very interesting thing to see. But now they've got a new vocalist, and her name is Flor Jensen, and quite frankly, I don't think that she is very good as far as what Nightwish has done in the past. She's got a great vocal range, but she doesn't have the big booming, grandeur vocalist sounds of the past two singers, but what definitely makes up for it is the rest of the band. I mean, the brainchild, his name is Tuomas. He's the keyboard player and the songwriter and producer. He's done so many great things since the band's first inception. There are some very good songs. It's not a great listen the whole way through, but it's a good Nightwish album. It's a good start for Flor, and there are definitely some songs that stand out in regards to this album. The only issue that I have with this album is they have another extremely long epic. It's called The Greatest Show on Earth. Nightwish is not good at that. When they had Dark Passion Play, they did The Poet and the Pendulum, and even that wasn't very good. It's one of those songs that I usually skip over, but hey, I just don't think that it's their best. But there are some excellent songs that stand out in their newest album, Endless Forms Most Beautiful. Of course, I love the first track, which is Shudder Before the Beautiful. Elan, which was their first single, which was fantastic, but there's also great songs like My Walden and Alpenglow and The Eyes of Shabrat Gula, and I think the best song on this album is track 8, and that is Idi Maru. If you listen to this song, you will absolutely love it. If I were to rank my 10 favorite songs from their group, it would definitely be in my top 10, so it's a good addition to the Nightwish collection, not their strongest, but I highly recommend that if you've never heard Nightwish before, this is definitely a good one to start with, because it's simple, it's not as complex as the past albums, and if you do, let me know what you think about it. The next band is also a band that has been around for quite many years, and this is a band from Germany named Blind Guardian. I learned of Blind Guardian because one of my favorite underground American metal bands, which is Iced Earth, the brainchild of that band, John Schaefer, is a best friend of Hansi Koresh, who is such an amazing lead singer for Blind Guardian. He's been there from the very beginning, and the coolest thing about Blind Guardian is their first couple of albums like Tales from the Twilight World and Nightfall and Middle-earth. Their songs revolved a lot around the Tolkien classics Lord of the Rings. I mean, Nightfall and Middle-earth is a whole epic album dedicated to the Silmarillion, which is the prequel to The Hobbit, which was so cool to actually hear songs based on Lord of the Rings. They even have a song called Lord of the Rings, which is small, but it's really, really good. But I would have to say that this new album of theirs, Beyond the Red Mirror, is without a doubt one of their strongest albums to date. I am not as big of a follower as I am with bands like Nightwish or Iced Earth or even Dream Theater, but after hearing this album, I really think that I need to pull all my Blind Guardian albums out and really give them a listen, and maybe I'll finally get a hold of the 2 albums that I haven't gotten that I should have in my collection. But this is an amazing album because it's different. It gives a lot more elements of classical music, folk music, because that's one of the few things that I really am appreciative as far as Blind Guardian. They have a song called Past and Future Secret, which sounds like a bard singing the song with a little guitar to the Knights of the Round Table. That's how unique Blind Guardian is. There is their patented metal sound and Hansi's patented vocals, but some of the songs on this album definitely gives Blind Guardian a new dimension. I think some of the best here are The Ninth Wave, Distant Memories, and The Holy Grail is probably my favorite song on this whole album. And it's a great concept album because each and every one of these song blocks tell a story in 7 parts. So I highly recommend that if you've never heard Blind Guardian before, I would still say maybe get Tales from the Twilight World first so you can listen to Lord of the Rings, but this is a great album. It's definitely one of the best metal albums that I have ever heard. And to top it all off, before I finish this review and give my shout-outs, I absolutely love these 2 albums. Not only do they come from the same record label, but they're spreading a very important message about physical media. These albums are special editions, and they're called media books. I do have another one, which was one of Nine Inch Nails' albums, which is their newest one, Hesitation Marks. It's beautiful. It's a little book. CD is in there, and there is some excellent artwork, like so, and they also have the song lyrics in each of these books. I'll show you the Blind Guardian one. CD's over there. Just some really beautiful concepts and some great artwork. I mean, I like the fact that they did this because it's showing you that music appreciators will never let CDs and vinyl albums die. This just shows you that they can still be glorified and they still can be treasured by true music fans, and that I truly believe that this is better than actually downloading a whole bunch of songs on the iPod, and just having a piece of media like this in your hands shows you the true art and the true passion that appreciators have for music. So that's it, guys. 2 very good albums. I highly recommend you listen to them both, especially if you want to hear some new music. And I want to shout out to a few music appreciators. This video is dedicated to Tim from the Late Night Reviews, Love Danielle, Vlogtavia, and Rihanna Toria, because they really all love music. And I really am doing this also to kind of promote them, to really let out their music interests and talk about it a lot more. I know that Love Danielle does some excellent covers and Vlogtavia does some excellent videos with her own music, but I really want to get inside all of your heads, guys. I want to know what music in the mainstream you love, what got you into music, what got you to want to do these covers and just talk about music in general. Maybe we could do a live chat or something like that, but I really want the music appreciators of YouTube to come forward, listen to some new music, and bring it to the masses. So I appreciate you guys listening today with this new video, and I'm looking forward to reviewing some new music in the future because there's some really good stuff on the way that I didn't even realize, so I'm excited. So I'll catch you in the next one, and actions speak louder than words.